Hi, my name is Victoria Seed and I help families affected by a loved one's addiction. Today's session is all about 6 ways to support your loved one and yourself in early recovery. So, this is coming up all the time at the moment in my sessions with my clients. So I work with clients who are trying to get a loved one into recovery, and then also with clients who are then trying to support a loved one when they start their recovery journey. So quite a lot of the time, that means they have, either paid for rehab themselves, or, the loved one has decided to stop drinking or stop using the substances. But then everybody's a bit like, what's next? What do I do? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And everyone's walking on eggshells a little bit. So I thought it was really important to cover this topic today. If you don't know me, again, I am Victoria Seed. I'm coming to you from Manchester in the UK, but I work with women in particular worldwide who are living with a loved one's alcohol or drug use that is causing problems for them, even if your loved one doesn't admit it. I do have a free Facebook group, so I will drop it into the comments wherever you're watching this live. So please come and join me in that if you're a professional woman affected by a loved one's addiction. It might be a child, it might be a partner, it might be somebody else. And I try and run these sessions each week. It's called a 10 at 11 because I post them at 11 o'clock. And they're always a session related to addiction and family recovery. I've got 2 decades of experience of doing this work, and I can help you too. Okay, so let's get to the point then. 6 ways to support you and your loved one in early recovery. All right, so first of all, very, 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 very important is to ask them what they need. It can be really easy to fall into a place where everybody's trying to assume what that person needs, but we ask them what they need. Now, this can be tricky when your loved one is closed off to you. So I see this quite a lot because you might be wanting to have open dialogue, and I would always, always, always talk to them about having an open dialogue and talking about what you need. Okay, so with families living in this situation, we've got to hear each other's point of view. Otherwise, recovery is going to be a real challenge for everybody. People who are in recovery or using substances, if you're listening to this, you've got to understand your substance use isn't just affecting you. It affects everyone around you as well. And that isn't to make you feel guilty. It's just to please acknowledge that your friends and family members are going to want to know where you're at, and they're going to want to help you. So please take that in mind, because if you want to move into recovery, if you want to step away from the substance, you're going to need some support. All right. And that involves and includes professional support as well, or support groups, as well as friends and family members, because it's not their responsibility to do everything for you. And family members, it's not your responsibility to do everything for your loved one. Get professional help. Okay. So first of all, ask them what they need. What do they need? How can I help you with your recovery? If we're all living together, we're going to have to go on this journey together. Yeah. Number 2 is have hope. It's really easy to fall into that state of anxiety where we're thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen? Are they going to relapse? Are they going to lapse? Are they going to do this? You haven't got any control over that. So the best approach to have is to remain hopeful, because if you as an affected family member, friend or partner doesn't have hope, then your loved one isn't going to have it either. And again, there's a balance between hope and not being kind of toxically positive, all of the time. You know, we can be positive, we can remain hopeful, we can be future focused. That's what I would recommend. However, we've got to balance that with, you know, there is a reality of why your loved one was using those substances that needs to be unpicked and explored. And you, as an affected family member, might not be the person to do that, but it does need doing with a professional. Okay. Number 3, don't drink, use around them, please, because we all know about triggers, we all know about cravings. Just because somebody stops using a substance doesn't mean that goes away. That stays for most people, not for everyone. Everybody's different, remember. So what we want to be doing is planning activities or interactions even that don't involve alcohol and drugs. You know, even going to a restaurant for somebody in early recovery can be really difficult. So again, ask them what they are comfortable with. Think about things that your loved one likes or used to like other than the substance, or things that they've shown an interest in but haven't managed to get there because the substance use has got in the way. So make a list of those things and then make suggestions to your loved one. Watch an old film that you used to like, you know, go to the theatre, go for a walk in the park. These things don't have to cost money. It depends on your budget around what you can do. And don't overcompensate, you know, don't do loads of things to fill all the time, because your loved one has got to learn to live a life without the substance. So activities that don't involve booze and drugs, and please don't drink and use drugs around them. Number 4, be a role model. Live the life that you want your loved one to live. There's no point in you sitting in the house at every spare moment you have, and watching your loved one like a hawk. That isn't going to change anything. That's just going to get their back up. They need an opportunity to be able to build trust with you, and you need to give them the space to do it. And in the meantime, you got to go and do your own thing. So being a role model isn't just for your loved one, it's for you as well. So you know, you deserve to live the happiest life that you possibly can. We only get one life. You don't have a control over the choices your loved one makes. You can certainly influence it, which is what a lot of my work is about. But yeah, be a role model. Live a life that you want your loved one to live. Go and see your friends. Go to the gym. Go out for dinner. Go for coffee. Exercise, whatever it is, because we've got to support your loved one to build their recovery capital. And I'll talk about that in a moment. Number 5, keep an honest, open and non-judgmental dialogue. So I talked about this a little bit in point 1, but what we've got to make sure is that you've got this open dialogue. It's really important. And your loved one might be closed off, but if they are really serious about their recovery is about being able to communicate with others. Unfortunately, the way recovery services, quite a lot of rehabs, some models of recovery are very focused on the individual and their recovery, and they kind of don't particularly include families. There's often an add-on for families, like, you know, come to this Zoom support group or whatever, but it's not embedded through the process. So recovery can appear to be quite selfish for your loved one. In a way, it kind of needs to be, but I don't agree with all of that, because I think recovery is a whole family thing and everybody should be involved in that, which is why I set up my service. Okay, so keep that open, non-judgmental dialogue. And number 6 is get your own help. I help my clients who are all affected family members living with a loved one's addiction or supporting a loved one through recovery. And I help them with all sorts of stuff. So it might be ending a relationship, you know, because some of my clients choose to end the relationship with the loved one. But when we're talking about recovery, It's about understanding that recovery process, setting healthy boundaries, because this applies even when your loved one's in recovery, withdrawing your company and any rewards if your loved one has a lapse, but at the same time understanding how to support them through that lapse to avoid a full-on relapse. Motivating your loved one into treatment, whether they are they've stopped the substance use or not, making sober more attractive than intoxicated, being a helpful helper, avoiding enabling, supporting your loved one. And this is important to solve problems without the substance, because this is a whole new way of living. So when someone's in recovery, they haven't got the substance to protect them, to support them to live their lives, because the substances are there to mask certain problems, whatever they might be. It might be anxiety, it might be trauma, it might be confidence, could be anything. So your loved one has got to learn to live a life without that. And that's hard. That's the hard bit. And, I work using a holistic approach as well. And all these ways that I work with my clients, I teach my clients to do that with their loved one as well. So, if you want some help, like I say, I do have a free group. You can search it on Facebook, Not My Addiction, and I will pop it under the post as well. And don't be alone with it, So think about those 6 key points. Let's just have a recap. Ask them what they need. Have hope. Don't drink and use around them. Plan, drug and alcohol-free activities that they are going to enjoy. That is going to reward the dopamine, flood them with positive, sober rewards instead of the rewards they've been getting off the substance. Be a role model. Keep an open, non-judgmental dialogue and get your own help. Everybody needs their own help. Okay, any questions, comments, reflections, pop them in the comments for me. You can always DM me for help and support. See you next week.